The Stoic art of not caring what people think. This is a topic that will change your life. It is something so important for you to listen to. You need to stop caring what other people think. There's a man called Daniel Locke. He's a very tall man, and he's very light, and he's like straw blowing in the breeze. He is walking sunshine. This man, everywhere he walks, the sun follows him. He has energy in abundance. He is the most proactive person I've ever met. And he's lived his own life. He's carried the world around him, doing whatever he wants, when he wants. And the sun always follows him. He's full of joy, just doing whatever he wants to do. And recently something changed in him. He stopped doing all these great things. The sun no longer followed him, and he would be going out partying. He would spend money on clothes, doing things that I guess were perceived as cool, and he was posting them on social media. He looked happier. If you look at his social media, he looked happier, but he would ring me up and explain that he's lost that spark, he's lost that zest for life, he's lost it all. And the reason he lost it, and this is why I want to talk about this subject, caring what other people think will do this to you. It will leave you as a shell of your former self or your potential self. You're just a shell of a person trying to impress others. You're not living your true life because of what someone else thinks, does, or says. And even worse, you're not living your true life because of what you think they are thinking. Imagine that. They might not even be thinking these things about you, but it's stopping you from living your life. So, Daniel, he was this walking sunshine, golden retriever energy, always happy, always doing his own thing. I admire him very much. And he stopped doing all these things. And then, recently, he's got that zest for life back. He's started hiking up snowy mountains at 3 a.m, listening to Game of Thrones podcasts, audiobooks. He's just doing whatever he wants, having fun, and he's living his best life. And he's no longer sharing it on social media. Why? Because when I asked him his secret, he said, when I was doing these things, I was going on holiday, I was going on hikes, whatever I was doing, I was no longer doing it for me. I was doing it for other people. I would go to the top of a mountain, I would hike for 3 hours to the top of a mountain to get one picture. And if that picture didn't perform well, or the right people didn't comment on it, then it was a waste of time. And he would go on holiday and say, I want to get this picture and this picture. And if he didn't get the pictures or the pictures didn't perform well, it was a waste of time. And he said, the thought, the anxiety of what people might think of these pictures was always on his mind. He was always checking the comments, always checking the messages, and it always weighed on him. And that's why he was a shell of his former self. And that's where the sunshine went, because he was paying too much attention to what other people think. And he said to me, something that stuck, he said, social media is not for you. It's for everyone else. He says, why are people taking these selfies, spending hours to get the right selfie to look good? It's not for them, because the process of taking these selfies is very boring. It's for other people. They're wanting the comments. They're wanting that boost of confidence from other people. And, he said, if social media wasn't there, or the fear of judgment and other people's opinions wasn't there, then these people, their confidence would already be so high. It's the things that are knocking them down that they're looking towards to pick back up. So, in order for him to find his spark back, he quit social media. And he said, after a few weeks, he got that spark back to do what he wanted to do. And he realized he was doing what he thought was cool, because he was getting FOMO, fear of missing out. When he's seen people partying, doing cool stuff, wearing new clothes, he's seen this and he thought, this is what it means to be happy. So he wanted to fit in. And when he stopped caring about what other people think or do or say, he found his true happiness. So I want to discuss and explain how you can stop caring what other people think using Stoic principles, Stoic practices. I need you to understand, because I've been thinking about this a lot, how detrimental it is to your health, how detrimental it is to society, your mental health. It's so dangerous caring what other people think and letting that influence your life. It can influence your health, your job decisions, your future, everything. can be ruined because you care what other people think. Today's episode is sponsored by Huel. Huel is a quick, affordable, nutritiously complete food with everything that your body needs. And I'm always having Huel. I love it. I love the ready meals. I love the shakes. And I love the daily greens more than anything because they just feel so healthy and they're actually nice, which is good. Very quick and easy to use when I'm busy. You know, when I was writing my book, The Everyday Stoic, Simple Rules for a Good Life, which is out now for order, and it's been translated so far into 11 languages, and there is an audio book. So if you like listening to my voice, you can listen to the audio book of this. It's 4 hours, and you get my guide to the good life using Stoic practices, things that have helped me over my decade of studying Stoicism, going from someone that was weak, scared, anxious, shy, felt like the world was against them, to feeling pretty great. I feel very happy with myself, very confident, which is good. And I hope you can get that too from reading my book or listening to these podcasts, whichever. The podcasts are free, so if you don't want to spend the money, it's free here. Anyway, when I was writing the book and doing my work, I was using Huel because it was just easy to have at hand, having the ready meals at hand, having the shakes at hand, having the daily greens, rather than I'm doing a bit of writing, then I get hungry and I'm like, oh, I need to nip to the shops just to waste a load of money on some rubbish because I'm looking for that quick thing. Huel's just got my back. So I've been thinking about caring about what other people think and the Stoic art of not caring what people think. So I think Stoicism here is the answer for many people to help them stop caring what other people think. And the reason it's bad is you are a shell of yourself to impress others or to fit in with others. And an example is your health, your own health, your well-being. You put that on hold. And people, you know, I know so many people, I get messages from people like, I want to go to the gym, but I'm worried about what other people will think. And the truth is, number one, your own health, your own well-being should always come first. Self-love is the most important. And it's not selfish because if you love yourself and you care for yourself, you're in a position so that you can help and care and love other people. So self-love is most important. And yes, it is important to be healthy. It's not necessary to be happy. You don't have to be healthy to be happy, but it is a preferred indifference according to the Stoics. Being healthy, it means you can live a life where you feel less pain, less struggle to get around. You're healthy, you can join in activities that you might want to do. A healthy body can help facilitate virtue. There's certain circumstances in life where good health is needed to help people. So I know a lot of people that won't go to the gym because they're worried about what other people will think. And, you know, I'm an example of this. I used to go gym when I was younger. I was very dedicated to the gym and I'd always do this. And it was easy for me. And I met so many great friends at the gym. It was like I got a new lease of life going to the gym. It was an amazing social place. And I remember first going to the gym, I was scared to go to the gym. So I would always put it off because I started going with my brothers. I would always find an excuse not to go because I was the little scrawny one and I didn't want to be seen not being able to lift heavy weights. And so I'd put it off. And eventually I built up the courage to go. And it was wonderful. I met friends straight away and then I kept going for weeks, and started going on my own, met loads of great friends, got in good health, got in good shape, and I was very happy with the community I had built around me. But imagine if I allowed the fear of people's opinions to not make me go to the gym, well then, I would have never met those friends and I would have never got in good health. And, you know, who knows, life might have offered me something better if I did that. But what I'm saying is you miss out on opportunity from caring what other people think. And if you are in a position where your health is deteriorating and it is getting bad for you, you know, your cardio is not good, you're struggling to get around, then the more you put off gym, the more you put off working out, well, the worse and worse it gets and the more effect and negative impact it has on your health. So it doesn't take great courage, first of all, to go to the gym. Let me rephrase that. It does take great courage for some people. But what I mean, it doesn't have to take a great leap. You can do small steps to get there. Set your gym bag out. Just on a Monday, put your gym bag out, get your stuff together, and maybe you don't even leave the house, but you've made a little step. Then the next day, you put on your gym shoes, you've got your bag, you walk outside, maybe you walk to your car and you're sitting there and have a panic attack. And then you do the same the next day. I don't want you to have panic attacks, but I'm just saying I know what it can be like in life when the ordinary can become a great struggle. But then you keep getting in the car, and then maybe you drive to work, the gym, and you get there, you sit outside, and you have a panic again. And then you keep doing this until you enter the doors and you talk to the person at the till, and they're so friendly, they're so nice, so inviting, and they get you induced into the gym. And, you know, first session you might be a bit anxious, but the people are being nice to you. You just practice a little bit. You don't go all out because you're fear and embarrassed of what other people might think of you. But you've made it to the gym and you've done your first ever workout. You go again, you meet the same people, they're friendly, and then in a month, suddenly you're no longer that anxious about what people are thinking about you, but you're working out, maybe you're anxious about talking to people now, but then you make your first friend in the gym. There's so many friends to make in the gym, it's quite easy. As long as you're not leaving weights lying around and being annoying, then you can make friends in the gym. It's the best place to make friends, because I wasn't making much friends, went to the gym, made loads of friends. And small steps have changed your life, and that's the same for everything. These small steps lead to great distance over time. I'm not much of a believer in taking huge leaps, and it's good advice, sounds great, and I know it works for some people, but I think a lot of people really struggle with anxiety disorders, and they struggle a lot with rumination. And if you take a great leap, you go into the gym and you've got a vest on, you've got shorts on, and you go straight in trying to hit a PR, and then you do find it really embarrassing, then there's a huge setback. And I know so many people do it. They get a setback and they don't go to the gym for another year because of that setback. So just keep taking little steps until you feel comfortable. The key is to always keep taking little steps. Do not take my advice as an excuse to not take a step. You still have to take steps every single day. That is the key. Just small steps every single day, because if you're not moving forward, you're falling back, or you're in stagnation. And in stagnation, that's where mold grows, and that's where things seize up. It's not a good place to be. Anyway, the next thing is, these people that you're so worried about in the gym, they are not thinking about you. They don't care about you. They're thinking about their own insecurities. And so that's one thing, they don't think about you. But even if 1% of the people do think about you and they're judging you, do you care what these people think? The 1% that are the rude people that are judging you, do you actually care what they think? If you wouldn't take advice from them, why are you taking criticism from them? So you have an idea in your head what other people might be thinking. You're trying to read their mind, and you're allowing your interpretation of what they might be thinking to have a detrimental impact on your life and on your health. So you think people are thinking things, so you actually ruin your life because of it. And this is like my friend Daniel. When he lost the sunshine, when he lost that brightness, when he lost that flow to life, it all happened because he was worrying about what other people might think about him. He was trying to fit in, trying to be cool, and he was bothered about what they might say, so bothered that he ruined his whole life, and it destroyed him. And that's what's happening to many people. So, what would the Stoics say about this? Well, Marcus Aurelius, firstly, he says, do you know what these people are like when they're alone? What their truth is? It's the kind of things that they say, the kind of things that entertain them. Why are you taking advice from these people, first of all? Why are you taking criticism from these people? If you truly knew what was going on in their mind, you wouldn't be taking their opinion. Some people are wicked and selfish, and they're projecting. So, who cares? The other thing is, it's your life. it shouldn't really matter about their opinion. It's about your life. It's about self-love, caring for yourself so that you can become the best version of yourself. And something that I hang on to a lot and just gets me through anything, really. And it's what Steve Jobs said. He said, in the face of fear, or fear of rejection, embarrassment, all these things, they just wash away. Because, what do these things matter in the face of fear? So, as the Stoics say, memento mori, remember death. And I made a post about this today, actually. I was thinking about it a lot. And I wrote a little poem. I'm no poet, but I wrote a poem about sitting on the bus. Because I sat on the bus. I'll read the poem, actually, because it's true. It's a thought I've been having a lot, and it's something that helps me a lot. It's a bit artistic for me. I sat on the bus lamenting my life. I sat on the bus irritated. I sat on the bus hoping for a miracle, something to shake me. If nothing changed, I would have always sat on that bus, sad as. I sit on the bus and say, I could die right now. Yes, I could. I could. I see an old couple, the wife sleeping on the man's tired shoulder, 60 years of love. A mother and her daughter talking about dinosaurs, curiosity and potential. Men and women off to work to care for their family. I see the sunrise, the magpies, the laughs, the smiles, the trees. I see the world. I could die right now. What a beautiful final moment. And that is something that sticks with me in all circumstances. Right now, as I'm talking to this camera, I don't know why it gives me the most amazing feeling. I can't express the feeling it gives me when I think about my own mortality. Like, as I'm talking to you in front of this camera, I'm filled with electricity. I'm so present. I'm so grateful to just be here, to be able to talk to an audience, to actually reach people and get amazing feedback, and to actually help people and speak about something I'm so passionate about. It's incredible. And right now, I'm like, as I'm just sat here, I can feel that, in front of me, I've got my own book. It's these things to be grateful for. And you don't need a book. You don't need this setup. You don't need a whole audience to be grateful for. Like I say in the poem, I'm grateful for the little things. And I'm on the bus a lot. I commute on the bus, and I often sit there and just look as the bus is driving and the sun is rising, and the partings in the windows, little pillars that separate each panel, as it goes past, and the shadows reflected and it's moving, and you can see all the lines of shadows moving across the bus. You see it moving across people's faces. You look around, like this morning, I seen this woman who had like a spiky ponytail. She was falling asleep, so she might have been tired. But I just thought it was a bit humorous the way she was falling asleep. What else did I say? Seen a really tall guy get on, huge. His head was like touching the ceiling, and he was very happy, very smiley. The bus driver, he said like, "Thank you, have a nice day." I think that's rare from some bus drivers. People talking on the phones to their families, early in the morning, and they're telling each other how much they love them, hope they have a great day at work. It's just amazing when you actually think about it, because it's so precious that we will only ever get it once. But I've gone a little bit off topic of the Stoic art of not caring what people think. How did I incorporate not caring what people think into my life? Number one, when it comes to criticism, the Stoics say, Marcus Aurelius says, seek the truth. The truth cannot harm you because it has no mind to care. So if someone actually says something, we're talking about that lady going to the gym. If someone actually said something to her and she's offended in it and it makes her stop going to the gym, you got to think about what they say. Number one is it true? If it's true, and it's true to you, then you can use this as advice. You can actually use the words to build up off. whatever they're saying. They might say a certain thing that resonates with you, but it hurts your feelings. But if it's true, oftentimes it's the things that are true that most hurt us. It's like your shadow side. If you studied Jung and you're aware of your shadow, these parts of us that we try to ignore and we try to not think are real. Normally when something irritates you, personally for me, if I'm procrastinating, if I'm on my phone procrastinating, because I teach about not procrastinating a lot, if I'm ever procrastinating and my partner, she says to me, "You're procrastinating," something hurts. I don't know why. I get really annoyed. And I started thinking, like, maybe that's that side of me that I don't want to admit is there, that side that I'm hiding from, that procrastinator side, that I'll do everything to avoid and not looking in the face of. And she's putting a mirror up to it. So oftentimes those things do harm us and offend us and upset us. But if what they say is true and you can use it for criticism, if what they say is not true, then it's a made-up story. And we don't need to pay attention to made-up stories, because the truth of that made-up story is that this person is a liar, and they're a person that goes into a public space to bring others down. And oftentimes, people bring people down to lift themselves up, because it can take a lot of energy to lift yourself up, to climb out of the barrel. So like crabs do, they pull other people in the barrel with them, so they don't even have to climb. They can just sit in the barrel and feel something about themselves. Misery loves company. Anyway, so the next step into not caring about what people think, and this is probably the most important, is the dichotomy of control. As taught by Epictetus, the Greek-born crippled slave. This man he had a crippled leg. He would walk around with a cane, and he would walk into the streets giving great speeches. He had countless students and people that would follow him around. He was so famous. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor Marcus Aurelius, the most quoted person and most referenced person in the whole of the Meditations in this book, The Emperor's Personal Diary, was Epictetus, this great man. This man that spoke about why are you complaining about being beheaded as if you want other people to be beheaded with you. This man that says that even Zeus can, you can tether my legs, you can chain me up, but not even Zeus can chain my will. He's a pretty great man. He was a loner most of his life. Not a loner. He was he lived a life of isolation in some ways. He lived by himself and he did his own thing, which is not a bad thing. And then at one point he came across a boy, an orphan boy, and he decided he would raise him, look after him, care for him. So, he's a nice guy, and his teachings are just remarkable, life-changing. Anyway, Epictetus said, some things are within our power, some things are not. Within our power are our opinion, motivation, desire, aversion, and in a word, whatever is of our own doing. Not within our power, our health, wealth, reputation, office, and in a word, whatever is not of our own doing. So if you look at the things outside of your power, in the Epictetus quote, it said your wealth, your health, your reputation. And people often think, well, my wealth is inside my power, it's within my control. You can influence it certainly, but you've seen the Wall Street bankers, the rich billionaires, millionaires, famous actors, sports stars. You've seen these people reach great heights, great success, and then there's a financial crash. An accident happens and they're no longer able to do sports. They can no longer act. They get pushed out of Hollywood and they're no longer actors anymore. And suddenly their great wealth that they had in abundance and they had such control over is gone in an instant. And this happens with financial crashes. It can all be gone. It can be all taken from you. And then your health. I go to the gym and my health is in my control. I do things to stay healthy. Well, I go to the gym to get stronger legs. I'm getting stronger legs. And one day I go to the gym and a lorry drives through the gym doors, goes all the way through the gym and drives into my legs that I had control over, and now my legs are broken. I didn't have control over that situation. And your reputation, and this is something I was speaking to a Stoic about, and he was saying he thinks it's within your control in some regards. He said it's a tricky one. But your reputation, I give this example in my book, actually, is the Everyday Stoic Simple Rules for a Good Life. I say, you can be a great person. You can start a new job. You can be a great person, very nice, and people will start to love you. And the alpha male, the person at the head of the hierarchy, feels threatened. So they start making up rumors about you, start making up lies, and suddenly your reputation is just crushed, even though you was doing the right things and being a good person. And what this doesn't mean, when people hear this, they say, well, what's the point in any of it? Because these things are preferred indifference, as the Stoics say. There's good, bad, indifferent. Virtue alone is good, vice alone is bad. Everything else is indifferent, and it's broken into preferred and dispreferred. And health, wealth, reputation, they are preferred. It's better to have these things, but it's not necessary to live a happy life. So, what do you control? You control your opinion, your motivation, your desire, and your aversion. You control what you think of these things. You control the things you want to go towards, and you control the things that you avoid. Your assent, your desire, your aversion. You have control over these things. You have power over these things. So this is all you need to pay attention to. This is what you should give your energy to. And I wrote about this in the book, actually. I'm just speaking from the book, basically, today. There's no point buying the book. Most people give 99% of their energy to things outside of their control. Daniel, the walking sunshine, the tall bits of straw blowing in the wind, this guy flowing through life. He started giving 99% of his attention to the way people perceive him. He said he would sit there and just think, will I look cool in that picture? Shall I delete this picture? Shall I upload this picture? And he was no longer happy. He was no longer doing the actual things he wanted to. So he gave 99% of his energy to the things outside of his control, the way people perceive him, and all these things. And, people give their mind and their energy to the weather. Is it raining? Are they stuck in traffic? Is the boss being an idiot? Is the people on the tram being rude? Did the football team lose? You don't control these things, and you're giving all your power to them, your mind to them, and you lose control over your life. So once you realize that you have such little control, then you find your true power and you have full control over your life, which sounds strange. By realizing how little control you have, you grasp your life and you get full control over the things you do control. So, the dichotomy of control is one of the most powerful tools to stop caring what other people think, because ultimately what you control is your character. And I remember I made a video about this years ago, did really well actually, called Win at Anything Every Time. And if you just focus on the outcome being your character, that's the only thing you focus on. If you go to the gym and you don't hit your PRs, well, you didn't break out your character, you didn't do anything mean, you didn't pity yourself, you didn't say, woe is me, what a waste of time. Stay true to your character. You stuck to your character and you developed your character. And suddenly, you've won. Even though you should have lost because the gym session was a failure, you won because you developed yourself from this. And this is the idea of the obstacle being the way, or the stoic flame. Anything that gets thrown onto the fire, any obstacle that gets thrown onto you becomes fuel for the fire. It becomes fuel for your character to build off. And it's one of the most powerful things, because if you're always focusing on this, focusing on your character, focusing on self-love and developing, then you no longer care about the opinions of others. And I was listening to a video by Inky Johnson today, actually. He made a reel, and he was saying that the great people see life as a journey. Each day is a step, each day is a building your character. Every failure, every setback is actually strength for your character. Every confusing situation is wisdom learnt. Every problem is a solution, and the obstacle is the way. And when you start seeing things like this, you no longer care about the opinions of others. So the most damaging one is social media. I do believe this. And I know people don't want to delete social media, but I deleted social media for 9 months a long time ago. And I remember at the start, I felt like I had to be involved in everything, had to understand everything, had to be in the space. And I deleted it. And when I came back, because I decided to start the Everyday Stoic and sharing Stoicism, I came back and I wanted to teach Stoicism. So what I did was just follow Stoic pages. I followed, people that are sharing inspiration, sharing wisdom, sharing advice, or even humor. What you don't want to do is follow people out of envy or jealousy, which is what most people do. They follow them because they're like, oh, they've got a better life than me. They own this, they own this. Never do this. It's no good for you. Just follow people that bring you education and entertainment. And if you get to a point where you want to quit, then quit. But maybe just follow me. I'll share some cool stuff. No, I do think some people are better off quitting social media. Like my friend, it's done him the world of wonders. He's found his sunshine. He's blown in the wind again. So, social media is a very bad one. The next is, as Epictetus again says, the crippled slave turned great philosopher. He said, it is not events that disturb us, but our judgment of events that disturb us. So, the idea of this is things aren't bad by themselves. It's the way we interpret them that make them bad. And it's the same with, first of all, criticism. Doesn't have to be bad. It can actually be a good thing. Second of all, it's your judgment. It's the ideas you build in your head. It's the anxieties and worries that you create in your head that actually make these things bad. So there's always a space. There's a small space, and in that space lies your freedom. So what happens? An event happens. Someone says something mean, something bad happens. And normally what you do is you have that event, then your reaction. And your reaction is normally built on instinctive triggers, your anger and retaliation. You want to fight back against this thing. But there is actually a space in there where you can assess before you act. You can assess your judgments. You can go, what's really going on here? Do I want to allow this criticism to bring me down in life? And the answer is no. The greatest thing in life is to love yourself, is to be present. And that brings me to my next point, is the only thing we have is this present moment. It's the only thing that exists. It's the only thing that will ever exist, is this present moment. So, why do I bring this up when we're talking about not caring what people think? Because their opinions do not exist in this present moment. Most of the time, it's a memory of a past judgment. And the past, you can't change it. It's happened and there's nothing you can do to change it. And the future it's not promised. I was watching a film last night. Johnny Depp said, we have never been closer to death than right now. And Master Shang Yi said to me when I visited him at Shaolin Temple, he says, who knows that you will not die right now? As I'm filming this video, someone could have poisoned my drink. Or a plane could fly through this building. You don't know. But there's more reasonable ones. I could step outside, be hit by traffic. I could have, something hidden inside me, like a heart attack or something. These things happen, and to deny the fact of our immortality, to believe that we live forever, is foolish, and you don't live in the present. So the present's not given. So all we have is, the future is not given, sorry. And so all we have is this present moment, which is a beautiful gift. And within this present moment, if you actually sit right now, bear in mind, probably in your head, you had all these ideas of all this judgment swirling around. If you stop right now, you'll realize that stuff doesn't exist in the present moment. it's just you going over and over and over in your head, just regurgitating it. And I just remembered something that Scott Corey, I believe, who's the Stoic archer. He's a psychotherapist, and he's helped people with addiction, anxiety, depression, and he's a Stoic philosopher. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy, very smart guy. Got a really good beard, really cool. He's got a good voice. Anyway, he was saying about this when we talk about rumination. He's saying it's like a cow gets the grass, chews it up, swallows it, regurgitates it, chews it up, swallows it, regurgitates it, chews it up, swallows it. And he says this is what it's like when you're going over these thoughts. You take something someone said, or maybe a look. Someone looked at you in the gym. And at the time, the look, you go, that looked a bit weird. Then you get home, you go, they were judging me. And what you've done now, you've chewed up the grass, like the cow, and you've regurgitated it. You've took the judgment. So like you've latched on to the judgment, you've regurgitated, it's become a more judgmental stare. And now, the next time you regurgitate, the next time you think about that memory, it's a different memory. The grass has been regurgitated in something else in the cow's stomach. And then the next time you remember it, suddenly you're thinking about this thought that's already been altered, and it's a lie, and it's become a judgmental thought. Now it's stronger, and you go, yeah, it was really judgmental. And then you regurgitate it again. And after 20 repeats of this, suddenly this thought has become something sinister, something completely different, something vile, something gross. And this happens, with people's words or with a text. They go over it, they mull over it and think, keep regurgitating. They pick out what they want. And if you're in a bad mood, or you have a negative connotation towards this person, or you're not feeling good about something, then every time you regurgitate it, you're pulling out the evil, the malice, the disgusting part of it, and you're twisting it, you're warping it, and making it into this thing that it was never. Because remember, they just looked over at you. That's all they did. They just looked with their eyes. And suddenly in your head, maybe they even swore at you, I can't remember. But I've seen this happen firsthand, and I felt it. I've done it myself in the past. And you just keep going over it and over and over, thinking this will help. It never does. I've got an idea. If a thought is not helping you, just analyze the thought. Go, is this actually helping me? Try not give any energy to it. Try not let it run. And I know it's harder said than done, and this kind of annoys me a lot when people say it's easier said than done. That's true. I've been there. I spent my youth and being a young man, I spent the whole time thinking how rubbish the world was, how dark it was, how weak I was, how pathetic I was, how anxious, and all these kind of things I was. And I kept regurgitating this in my mind and keep making it worse and worse, going down a spiral. And people said to me, "Oh, don't think about it." And I used to say I said, "Oh, thank you for the advice." But in my head, I was thinking do you not understand? I'm trapped in this spiral going down and down and down. Do you not understand this? Which is true. It's a hard place. But every time, there's millions of forks in the road, and one goes in a slightly better direction. It's tiny, and it goes in a better direction, and one goes in a tiny worse direction. And over a year, I don't know how many forks you have, I don't know the science there, but say it's 1,000. 1,000 times you take the bad path. You say, actually, I'll give energy to this thought. I'll give energy to this thought. And in a year, it's 365,000. It's a third of a million, more than a third of a million. It's like 3.5 of a million, 35% of a million. Anyway, the maths isn't working there. So you keep... I know your mind will still wander. It's what a lot of us do. A lot of us are prone to rumination and anxious thinking and obsessive thoughts. But if you actively give energy to these things, then you get better at doing these things. If you actively avoid these things, Epictetus is talking about avoiding something. moving towards something or moving away from something. If you keep moving towards that thing, you get better at moving towards that thing, and you'll end up further down that path. Whereas if you go down the other path, you get better at doing it. And it doesn't cancel out the rumination, but it certainly helps. Epictetus, he said, this guy, I can't stress enough what kind of person he was. He was a crippled slave who found his freedom, and with that freedom decided to go out and teach philosophy for free. He became one of the most famous philosophers in history. His words, he didn't even write this down. One of his students wrote this down. This has sold millions of copies, helped millions of people over 2,000 years later, and he was just a crippled slave. And he talks about things about not pitying yourself, like as Dr. Marcus Aurelius says, all men suffer, but not all men pity themselves. So Epictetus said, if you want to get better at talking, talk. You want to get better at walking, walk. If you want to get better acting on bad impulses and vice, then do these things. Because you get better at what you practice. So don't be practicing this cycle of negative thoughts. It's not good. Just a quick word for our sponsor, Huel. Huel is a quick, affordable, nutritiously complete food with everything that your body needs. I stumbled on my words there. It's a quick, affordable, nutritiously complete food with everything that your body needs. And it's something I really like. It's a product that's delicious, and it is something that has fueled me every single day. And it fueled every single day of writing the Everyday Stoic Simple Rules for a Good Life. It fuels this podcast, it fuels my workouts, and it just makes sure that I'm getting everything that my body needs, and I feel confident about that. I'm no longer worrying about getting the right nutrients in. I just have my daily greens, or have my meals, or have my shakes, and I feel good about myself. I feel like I've got a nice meal, and it's healthy and tasty. So if you have any interest in Huel products, click the link in the description. Also, a quick word about my book, The Everyday Stoic Simple Rules for a Good Life, which has so far been translated into 11 languages. It is available for order now. It was 4,000th in the world, I believe 5,000th in the world overall ranking, and it was first hot new release in Western philosophy. And I would love to get it into the top 100 overall, as that would be a great achievement. So if you can help in any way, I'll be thankful for that. Leaving a review would be great, so people know if it's a good book or if it's a book they should avoid. But hopefully, knowing you all, you will love this book. It will help you. And the audiobook is available. So if you like listening to my voice, which some of you do, some of you don't, but it's incredible quality. The Mount Street Studios did an amazing job, and Penguin did an amazing job of making it into this format. It was amazing. It was an enjoyable experience. So leave a review. If you get a book, let me know what you think. I'd love to know your thoughts. So back to the Stoic art of not caring what people think. So I think to not care what people think, the most important thing to remember is to focus on yourself. Remember who you are. Focus on your truth. Focus on your own mortality. Staying present and realizing that this is your life. This is potentially, according to science, the only life you will ever get. According to many religions, this is the only chance you'll get on this earth. And according to other religions, this is the only time you'll live in this body, experience these things. So this is the only time you can experience what you're experiencing. And don't you want to make that a good experience? Don't you want to do the things you actually want to do? And we talk about procrastination. We talk about procrastination so much. We're procrastinating on our dreams. Procrastination is not the enemy. Let me tell you that. Procrastination is not the enemy. Procrastination is easy to overcome. There's a formula that I constructed that it is resistance. Imagine a seesaw. Resistance, big old resistance. He's the big kid. You have resistance there. Then on the other end of the seesaw, you have three other guys, a bit smaller. They are energy, motivation, and desire. And right now, the resistance pulling down here. I don't know if you can see this. And resistance, motivation, desire. No, energy, motivation, desire tipped up. Because there's not enough weight to these things and there's too much weight to the resistance. So what you do is you raise your energy. I was speaking to someone today, actually, that was saying that they was procrastinating a lot on things because they just felt the energy was too low. And I agree, that's the thing. When your energy is low, it's hard to do tasks. When your energy is really low, especially due to depression or lack of sleep or stress, the most minor of tasks can become a great challenge because your energy is too low to attack these and take these things on. So what you do is you lift your energy up through trying to get more sleep, getting excited, getting in a good mood, getting exercise, getting a small win under your belt. I was speaking to Amy Morin, the author of 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do. You know, that book's sold millions. Hopefully my book will also, but she's wrote many great books. Very intelligent individual. She's very smart and her advice is incredible. But I remember I was talking to her and she was saying, when you're mad, you produce mad thoughts, you do things that you're mad. When you're sad, you do the same. And it's easier to do these things because you're in that mode. And what people do when they're sad is listen to sad songs. When they're mad, they listen to mad songs. And when they're happy, they listen to happy songs. So she said the way to counteract this energy thing is, she said, what sort of things do you do when your energy is really high, you're really happy? And I was like, what is a song I listen to? I'll make a nice meal. I'll get excited. I'll jump around, these kind of things. Not jump around. I'm not like a dog. But the point is that you will do things that a happy person does because you've got your energy up at that level. And it works. So now I play Mac Miller, Best Day Ever. And it raises my level up just a little bit. It makes me feel good. I love that song. And then I'll listen to some Beatles, some Rolling Stones, things that get me in a good mood. And suddenly my energy is raised. But there's other things at play. There's your motivation. You need motivation. Motivation is the pushing force. So how do you raise that? You get psyched up. Watch motivational videos. Think about how hard you can push yourself, how strong you are, these affirmations, how great you are, how you can push through anything, you can walk through the fire. And then there is the best tool, I think, is the desire. Motivation pushes you and desire pulls you. It draws you in, it lures you in. It's like the sirens of a Lorelei calling you towards the goal, towards what you're wanting. And if you can just picture yourself with this thing, it's like the law of attraction. Think what you want and how much you want it, how much it'll feel good to have this thing. It can pull you. So you've got the motivation pushing, the desire pulling, and the whole energy is what is surrounding that thing. It's giving fire to the engine. But there's actually an easier way, is to lower the resistance. And I know I speak about this all the time, this story. Me and my brothers, when we was editing years ago in my mum's loft, was, me, John and Luke. Jordan's like 6'5", just say 6'7". I don't know. He's very tall, very big, and he can't even stand up in this room. Luke can't stand up in this room. I can't. None of us can stand up in this room. Anyway, it's a small pink loft in my mum's house. It's like a pitched ceiling, and there's fiberglass insulation hanging out. It's a very strange room, and we had 3 computers in there, and we were starting our filmmaking business in there. What you now know as the Mulligan Brothers, and we was in there. It was crammed, in the winter. You could see your breath. It was freezing. There was no heaters up there. We had 2 beds up there as well where me and my brother would sleep. And it was hard. Anyway, the point is, we're crammed in this room and we're working 100+ hour work weeks every single week. It was intense. But for some reason, we all had an obsession with ultra running, and I think we watched like David Goggins or something, and it was quite competitive, so we wanted to run like marathons at nighttime. So we finished editing at like 2 a.m, and then at the start it was like, let's go run a marathon. And it was like, I can't bother, too tired, my knees are crammed from being up here all day, I'm cold, I'm not warmed up, and we'd put it off. But we developed a method of just saying, let's go outside, get some fresh air. Let's go for a 5-minute walk. Let's go for a run down the road. And suddenly, the resistance has been knocked down. So the resistance existed as this 26-mile thing with all the excuses wrapped around it, the cold, the achy joints, the tired, the late night, everything wrapped around it. And then you reduce it to, let's just put our running shoes on and step outside. And then to, let's just go for a walk. And once this barrier has been knocked down, it's the easiest thing to do anything. And then the next secret to it, of course, is just removing distractions. The worst thing you can do is have this in arm's reach, because when you find a little bit of resistance, when I was writing my book, The Everyday Stoic Simple Rules for a Good Life, don't forget the title, and when I was writing this, when I first tried to write a book many years ago, I'll be writing and I get stuck on a thought, so I just pull out my phone, try and do something productive, and then ultimately just end up on this for 10 minutes, go back to my writing for 5 minutes, and before you know it, you've wasted 6 hours on this, and you've done an hour of half-hearted writing. So just move it out of hands away, arm's reach, even in a different room, and do the thing. Just sit there with your thoughts. It's okay to be bored. It's okay to be not being productive. The idea of trying to be productive all the time will crush creativity, and eventually productivity will crush progress. So procrastination is not the thing standing in the way of your dreams. And then next is judgment. Other people's opinions is not standing in the way of your dreams. It seems like it. It seems like their judgment is the thing that's getting in your way. That because of them, you can't do what you want to do. Because of them, you're not a singer. Because of them, you're not writing poetry. Because of them, you're not feeding the homeless. You're not making meals at home feeding the homeless. Because of them, you're not traveling the world. Let's bring it back to because of them, you're not writing a book, because that's a thought I've had many times. Because of them, I'm not doing it. It's their fault, because they're going to laugh at my words. They're going to laugh at I'm not the best writer. They're going to think I'm stupid. What? William's trying to write a book. That guy didn't even do good at school. That guy's an idiot. His words, like what's he writing about? It's crap. The book isn't crap, by the way. These are thoughts I had a long time ago. But it's not because of them. It was me. I was too scared. I was too much of a coward to just do it, that I'm putting the blame on procrastination and others' judgment. Well, I stopped being a coward, and look how that ended up. Very well. But people blame the judgment of others. They blame procrastination for not doing the things they want to do, when it is you. Your own fears are the things getting in the way, your limiting beliefs. And I want to tell you, because it is your limiting belief, that's what I should have said straight away. It's your limiting belief of yourself that stands in the way. And I want to say that everyone is capable of doing the things they want to do, exactly what they want to do. Everyone's capable of flourishing. And I'm not talking about this BS that everyone's like, well, you say, because every time I say that, people go, what? So you're saying I could beat Usain Bolt in a race? No, I don't think you could, David. But what I'm saying is, that's not what you want to do. You've got that fire inside of you. You've got that true calling that when you sit in bed at night, or you're having a bad day, or you get what you want, but it wasn't what you need, you sit there and think what you actually need, what you actually want, that fire, that voice that's calling you every day. And for me, it was doing what I'm doing exactly now. In a sense, I wanted to actually help people one-to-one, to talk to people. I wanted to connect with people, hear their problems, and try find a solution. And I decided to start doing that. I decided I'm worthy to do that, because my whole life I told myself I'm an introvert, I'm shy, I don't like talking to people, I don't really like people, I'm not a good communicator. These are things I told myself and I believed about myself, but something was always there in the back of my mind saying maybe I should do this. So I've started to do it. And the thing with the book, right, let me tell you, no one can write a book for the first time. It's impossible. because it's such a huge task. You've never done it before, and the goal of writing a book is too much. But anyone can start writing some words, and that's exactly what I did with my words. I started writing little quotes, started writing stoic reminders. I started sending people messages, asking people their problems, and I kept writing. Every day I'd write and write and write, and then I got the opportunity to write a book, and this started out as just little words on a page, just words, not really meaning much, ideas that stuck with me. And then eventually I got all those and formulated one whole page. And then suddenly that became a chapter. And then there's another chapter. Then the whole theme of the book developed. And suddenly there's a book standing in front of me, because it's one little step at a time. Small steps every day lead to great distance. So, the Stoic art of not caring what people think. It's easy. You are mortal. This moment could be your very last. So their opinion should not weigh on you at all, because you don't want your last thought or your last moment to be pushed and shoved by someone that doesn't mean anything to you. The next, dichotomy of control. You have no control over these things, so focus on what you do control: your own character, your opinion, your motivation, your desire, and your aversion. The things you think about the world, the things you move towards in the world, the things you avoid in this world, and the way you react to what happens in the world. The next, the obstacle is the way. The fire, the stoic flame, challenges that get thrown at you. Even if people say mean things, this can be fuel for your fire to become a better version of yourself. Be present. The present is the only thing that exists. You have so many beliefs of what people said in the past, what people might say in the future, when the only thing that exists is in this present moment. And even if they do say something, then that's one little thing you have to deal with in the present moment, rather than this infinite mess in the future and the past. And then the next is procrastination isn't the enemy. Their judgment isn't the real enemy. Your limiting belief is the real enemy, your fear. And if you can find, as the Stoics say, some courage, then you can go a great distance. And of course, that leads me to my final point, is you need to develop this framework that the Stoics laid out of the only God. Virtue is the only God. Wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. If you start to lay down this foundation as the person you want to be, and that's your focus, that these are important, these are true God, and then the rest falls away. Like my friend who lost his bright light because of others' judgment, of trying to fit in, trying to be cool. If he just focused on his own character, focused on virtue, then this would have never happened. And you would have a foundation to stand upon. So if life ever tries to drag you under, you've got this strong foundation that keeps you grounded. So that is the Stoic art of not caring. And the reason I want to share it is because you become a shell of yourself when you care too much what other people think. And in my life, I was so crippled and held back what other people think. I always wanted to talk to the camera like this. And I thought I was shy, not good at communicating. I was crap. I'd embarrassed myself. And I used to have so much anxiety to do this kind of thing. And now I get so excited to get on here and talk to all of you and try to share my words. And I love to see this feedback. So that's why I want to share it, because it held me back. Caring what other people think held me back so much in life. And once I got past that and realized it's my own limiting belief, that's the only thing holding me back. You need to write down, because you have so many false beliefs about yourself, you need to write down true beliefs about yourself. Why you're confident, why you're a good person, or why you deserve better, why you're smart. You write down these things, prove it to yourself, make a list, and you'll start to see that your mind has been telling you lies your whole life, limiting who you are, keeping you locked in a cage because you're scared to spread your wings, because outside the cage, it's a bit more dangerous. You're prone to getting hurt, but life does not exist. Life is not lived inside a cage. You know, the ship is safest at harbour, but that's not what a ship's supposed to do. It's supposed to ride the waves. So go sail the seas and do the things you want to do. And if you need more help and you want to get that thing that I got, I don't know what it is, that like fire inside of you, that shows you the light. When you look towards the light, all shadows are cast behind you. I read that quote the other day, really good. But if you want to understand how to get there, then I recommend the Everyday Stoics 10 Rules for a Good Life. The audiobook's only 4 hours long, but it will take you, I don't know, it takes you like a few days of reading it, a few nights, a few commutes on your bus. And I think it just lays out how to get there. It lays out the principles, the blueprints to get there with exercises you can do. Exercises I've been using in my life to cope with stress, anxiety, worry, exercises that help you cope with death, everything, help you be a better person. And then, there's a bit of history, a bit of factual knowledge from the Ancient Stoics, a bit of their principles, and then my own story, how a bin man changed my life when I was younger. When I sat at a bus stop, a bin man changed my life. Pretty cool. How my mum got me introduced into philosophy, all these kind of things. Very cool. Very personal stories that I know will help you. And it's an easy read, because remember, I didn't have this education. I was a building site labourer, then a cleaner, and then I was a sous chef. I did lots of weird jobs, and I didn't study or anything. I just kept reading these books all the time. When I was on the bus, when I was at home, when I was working out, I just kept reading them, studying them. And then I started looking at academic papers and stuff, because I started to get a bit of interest in the academic side. And eventually I just understood it and been able to incorporate it into my life and become a better version of myself. Not the best version, because we can always improve, but I'm very happy with who I am. I'm very blown away with who I am. Which sounds very arrogant and cocky, but I don't really care, because my former self, my weaker self, my younger self that was scared and worried, is very thankful that they put in the work and became who I am today. They're very thankful they found Stoicism. I hope they're thankful anyway. But yeah, book is available for order now. The link will be in the description below. It's going to be available already in 11 different languages, and of course you can pre-order it now in the States and Canada. The link will be there with Hachette publishing company, great publishers. They made a beautiful copy. It looks incredible. I'm very excited to receive like a physical copy by them, which is coming soon, because they're amazing. Their team's so good, and they've done an amazing job with it. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. And of course, today's episode was powered by Huel, which is a quick, affordable, nutritiously complete food with everything that your body needs. Huel is delicious, and it just gives me confidence throughout my day that I'm getting exactly what I need. I feel healthier, I feel good, and I'm enjoying it. I love the meals. The meals, like, I look forward to just making the meals. It's so easy to make as well. So anyway, if you're interested in any Huel products, click the link in the description. I've been thinking about it a lot, that I think since having a child, you become more empathetic, and I realize there's people that don't have role models, don't have good parents. There's people that struggle in life and they don't find the answers, and it's very sad. I had a weird thought. I was thinking, like, I was holding my daughter and just thinking, like, these people you see struggling, they were once this child that just needed love. And sometimes that's what goes wrong for us. We didn't get that love. We didn't have a mentor. We didn't have that role model. We didn't have anything. We didn't have the answers. And, in life, I missed out on a lot of things, and Stoicism picked up. But anyway, what I'm wanting to say, if anyone's got to this point, is send me DMs on Instagram, because I want to help. I want to help in any way I can. And, I can just send you a voice note. I can do whatever I can to help. You can join my group chat. Or, I'd love your help here, is I'm trying to do TikTok lives, because I think it's a good way to connect with people. I can get live interaction, get messages, and I can reply to them live. And I want to do it for a few hours every night whilst I'm just writing a book. So I can just be writing, because I'm writing my second book. Get excited. And whilst I'm writing, I want to just see questions, and it can be good prompts for me to think about and to help others. But I need 1,000 followers on TikTok. I don't really understand TikTok, but I do want to do the lives. So if you have a TikTok, please just follow me or tell me what to do with it. Because I just want to do the lives, basically. That's what I'm there for. So I'm just trying to get 1,000 followers. And yeah, thank you for everyone that's been buying the book. Thank you for all the kind words about the book. People have already finished it and said it's been amazing. I've heard people saying it's changed their life, which is just amazing. It makes me feel good. But I'm Stoic, so I don't rely on that stuff for happiness. But it just, I'm happy regardless. But it's just a bonus in life, to know it's doing something. Look at that. The cover's amazing. I'm so happy with it. Yeah, you can order it now. It's available for order. And I would love to know what you think about it. Thank you for everyone that comments on these videos. Thank you for everyone sharing these videos and liking the videos. I've got a goal of making one of these videos not go viral, but I just want it to be one of those videos. I've got a thing because there's many like that. I'm actually speaking to Adam from he's known as Lucid Pixels on YouTube. I'm speaking to him tomorrow. I'm going to talk with him about Stoicism and procrastination, creativity. I'm very excited because one of his videos on procrastination, it's got hundreds of thousands of views. But I used to watch it every single night, and it was so helpful. And I want one of my videos to become like that to someone. I want it to be one of those videos that people can keep returning to, and it's like a light in dark times, or it can be a guide. So, yeah, I suppose that's on me anyway. I need to make a good video. But have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.